Hello and welcome, Steely Man here, and we're here today to talk about getting work, getting gigs, getting paid gigs. Now, the first thing you need to do to get some gigs, if you haven't already been doing that, is get to know your area. So you need to get out to the gigs that are playing cover music and find out what kind of cover music they particularly like at that gig, that venue, because there is a difference. Back in the day, in my day, years ago, it'd be easier because there was a lot more gigs, and it was in two categories: rock category, where rock and blues bands would go along and play, and that's the kind of audience they'd know that, so that's the kind of audience that would get there. And the other type of venue was more show band. Show band used to say, book show bands, party bands, wedding bands, that kind of thing. So and there was more of them than back in the day than there was of rock bands. But nowadays, a gig's a gig, and at my age group now, a lot of the audiences in clubs, they do like a bit of rock. In fact, you can mix all the genres of music now, and people are quite happy as long as you're a good act, as long as you're a good band. So that's what you've got to do. Get out in your area, find out, go and see a few bands, see the venues and what kind of bands they book. And then when you're confident of putting your set together, your music, or your cover music, should I say, once you've done that, you can approach the venue for work. Find out before you do that how much they pay on a weekly basis. Now, you may want, when you very first start, you may want to say something like, we'll do it for a bit less, try us out for the first time, and if you like us, promise us, 3 gigs the rest of the year or something. And that way you can build up, and the venues will get to know you and get to trust you. And of course, all you've got to do then is turn up and play a good set and start to learn your craft and start to get experience, and they'll recognise that and they'll book you back. You start filling your diary. And that's another thing to consider, your diary. Somebody in the band, or if you're a solo artist, you yourself, has to maintain the diary when everyone's trying to get bookings. And there should only be one. It's no good a number of you promising people you're going to play there and fixing dates, and then you find out next time you get together, oh, I've already booked that date, or I'm going on holiday, or I'm so-and-so. You need one person to hold the diary, and he's got to know the other members of your act. He's got to know when you want your holidays, when you can do this, when when you're available, so that when he gets the chance of venue, he can say straight away yes or no to the venue, because they don't like messing about. They don't like, oh, hold on, I'll get back to you in a week. They fill in their diary when they phone people up. The best way is on social media at the moment, much easier than the olden days. We had to go get to know the people and get the old phone call, the old landline, where now you can go on social media, contact the club directly and saying, any chance of a booking, or you can see them on social media actually asking for acts, anybody available, blah, blah, blah. You've got to be in there quick. You've got to get there and tell them. So that person who has the diary must be able to know that his band is available. It's no good, especially when you're starting off, if you contact the venue and they're looking for an act and you say, we can do that, next Friday kind of thing, and they say, great. And then you phone them back 3 days later and say, oh, well, sorry, we can't now. There is only one chance. They'll probably, when you phone again, they'll probably say, oh, it doesn't matter, because they'll be thinking unreliable. In this game, you've got to be reliable. You'll get a name for being reliable, a good name, and you must talk to the other people in your band and say, we don't let anybody down. Because once you start doing that, the word gets about and you're not going to get any more work. But the building of that diary is the main option. That's what you want to do. And it's no good once you've set a price, then for somebody in the band to say, oh, well, I think we should get this and I think we should get more or whatever. No good changing it once you start that year's diary. You must stick to your guns. Don't let anybody down and get working. It'll all become easier the more experience you get. So if you want to know any more about actually getting workings and the ins and outs of it, we'll speak more in depth. Just message us on the channel. Come back to see us, because there'll be a lot more building up in the future. We'll be putting a lot more content on about things like diaries and venues and equipment and stuff like that. All the good stuff about being in a cover band. Catch you later.